was going. I'm just going to do a overview of chapter 6.2 for you guys to have a look at and discuss. I'll tell you about a few of the things that are happening. So it's the question is, why are deserts so hot and dry? Well, the usual reason that they're so hot is because they're close to the equator. We're talking about hot deserts, of course. So, as you can see from this diagram, which we've seen before, rays that are directly overhead of the equator are more concentrated, so they strike the Earth in a much smaller surface area. So the rays are concentrated and it gets hotter in those regions. The only reason that it doesn't get boiling hot at the equator is because there's so much moisture in the atmosphere. It actually stops quite a lot of the radiation getting through, so it doesn't heat up as much. But by the same token, at night it stays warm because the heat can't escape. So the equatorial regions are always quite warm and very humid all year round. And at the moment that sun is going to be very close to directly overhead of the equator, so that's where there'll be a huge amount of, well, there always is a lot of rain in the equatorial regions. So. But where the hot deserts are is further away from the equator, but because the sun's rays are still pretty direct, it does get really hot in those regions, and there's nothing to stop the radiation getting through because there's no moisture in the atmosphere. So that's what that's looking at. You can read that up there. Here we go. Here's the highest recorded temperature in Australia was 50.7, the hottest ever. It was in, what country was it? I looked at it the other day. I thought it was Libya, but it wasn't. It was another country in North Africa where it reached 57 degrees. So and the lowest was minus 23 at Charlotte's Pass, which was just a few years ago. But the lowest ever was minus 89 at Vostok Station, recorded temperature, but they're pretty sure it would have got a lot colder than that at high altitudes in Antarctica. What country was that, where it was hottest? Can't remember. There's a map over there, but I can't leave because I've got to tell you about all the things that are going on this. Okay. Yeah. Here's what I was talking about with the cloud cover. Oh, there it is, look. Azizia. I wonder what country that is. You should look it up, guys. Have a look and see what country it was. 58 degrees. And that's because of that, because there wasn't much moisture in the atmosphere, so it gets very hot during the day when the ground heats up, and that's that diurnal range. It can be a huge difference between day and night temperatures. Why does it dry? We've looked at all that because of those dominated by high pressure systems. So that's usually, you find the high pressure systems in the tropics and polar regions where the relatively cool air is dropping. And I said hot air rises at the equator for the hot deserts. It rises at the equator and then it cools and drops. Doesn't mean those areas are going to be cold because the air is heating as it drops. And then when all that radiation gets through onto the ground or the sea, it heats up quite a lot because there's nothing to stop that radiation, especially the land. The land always heats up much faster and cools much quicker than the sea does. The sea absorbs heat slowly and then it releases heat slowly, so that's why the ocean can be pretty cool at the beginning of summer and pretty warm at the end of summer too, and sometimes right into winter. Okay, rain shadows, where the mountains stop the moisture getting in. We've seen that, and you've seen that on the PowerPoint. If you haven't, go back and have a look at the PowerPoint. In the centres of land masses, because it's so far away from the ocean. That's what I was talking about before. That wasn't in the first chapter, and it should have been. And on the west coast, because of those cold ocean currents that were in the PowerPoint again. Okay, deserts around the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn for the hot ones. Latitudes 15 degrees between 15 and 35 degrees north and south of the equator. They're dry because of that atmospheric circulation and the highs, and because of cool air can't hold as much moisture, etc., etc. You can read the rest of that. I'm not going to go on about it too much. It's there for you to read. I'm just talking. Rain shadow, this is what we were looking at. There's orographic rain here, that's what that's called. It doesn't actually say that, but it probably should. The winds get containing a lot of moisture are forced up over the mountains, and you get that condensation and then precipitation. But as the air drops, it also warms and the air expands, and it can't actually condense any moisture in it, even though most of the moisture's gone anyway. So it can actually be really dry. The winds are really dry when they reach the inland areas, and that's called, it's a rain shadow. Okay, some deserts a long way inland, as we said. Cold ocean currents we talked about. Here's some of the facts about Australia's desert and the Sahara Desert. Look how old the Sahara is. Before that, it was actually covered in rainforest. So it was, because the plates have moved around and climate's changed over millions of years. It's a very old desert though, 65 million years. And it's such a large area too. This is one desert that actually does get a bit of rain, so it's got these specialised plants. And the highest sand dune is 500 metres high in the Sahara. So here's the questions you need to do today. And also later on, after you've done these, you should have a look at the stuff on Squirk work on deserts, which will be on Haiku as well. And then when you finish that, you can watch, or you can do some work on your assignment. Okay, boys, good luck with everything, and enjoy your work today. Bye.